welcome to another episode of the ausTILL Show, produced by Chris Huckel, edited by Cade Claiborne, and sponsored by the Tennessee Ministry Network of the Assemblies of God.
Not Shasta.
Not Shasta, right?
Right.
Well, this is a special edition of the show. It's the best time of year. Holiday season is upon us, and you are privy to our Thanksgiving special today. We're glad you joined us. Hope that over the next few moments you'll have a good time. You know, Brooks, you have told me that Thanksgiving Day is your favorite day of the year. Could you elaborate?
Thanksgiving is my favorite day of the year, and it's not just because I'm overweight.
Okay.
Thanksgiving Day is my favorite day of the year because Christmas is my favorite holiday. And that don't even make sense, does it?
Now I'm gonna need you to
And
clarify.
Here's the reason why. Because Christmas is my favorite holiday, I love Thanksgiving because it's the start of my favorite holiday season, which is Christmas.
Thanksgiving Day is the initiation of the Christmas season. What do you say to all the people that have already decorated for Christmas pre-Thanksgiving?
Well, we've already started at our house, so I ain't got much to say
You don't have
that.
any
But here's the deal on it. Here's the deal. You can still have Thanksgiving with a Christmas tree up.
Yeah, that's true.
But if you're like the ausTILL family, there's an order to things.
There is an order to things. We have our home decorated for fall and Thanksgiving right now. Pumpkins and
Maize.
corn stalks. Yeah, I even brought a few of the decorations that we have around our house.
I'm glad.
You know, a
you brought
pumpkin, a
these.
turkey. You know,
A bronze turkey.
bronze,
Bronze.
majestic.
Majestic.
And so we decorate for Thanksgiving, and then on Black Friday we go out and get a live Christmas tree, and we begin.
Are
our
we even
Christmas
going to have Black Friday this year?
That's a good question.
It is a good question because there's things I'd like to buy.
Yeah, well, you can guarantee we'll have a Cyber Monday.
There ain't no doubt about it.
So before we dive headlong into all things Thanksgiving, I do just want to give you a heads up on the format of our show. Many of you watched our Facebook Live show from a couple of years ago, and you probably assumed that this is going to be an hour of nonsensical, pointless banter.
It's not going to be an hour, but there is going to be some nonsense.
There will be some nonsense. So we have three objectives for the show. Number one, we want to brighten your day. We want you to laugh and have a good time. Number two, we don't want to have so much fun that we lose our jobs or our ministries.
We want to be able to survive and feed our families.
Yes, we don't want to be overtaken by cancel culture. And then number three, we do hope to say something today that will encourage you, that will inspire your faith, that will provoke you to pursue the Lord maybe more intensely than you have before. And the way we're going to accomplish that is for the next 30 minutes, we are going to focus on one topic. And as you watch the rest of our YouTube shows and listen to our podcast, you'll find that that is going to be our MO. One topic, 30 minutes, really focused. We're gonna stay dialed in, right?
We're going to blow your mind.
No rabbit trails, none of that.
Maybe.
Probably not. So today, as we said, Thanksgiving special. If you are a fan, in quotes, of our Facebook Live show, then you know the holiday special episodes are legendary.
Legendary.
I don't know that we'll top that. We don't have a whiteboard, but we will give Brooks an opportunity to wow you.
But we have a bronze turkey, we have a pumpkin, we have a lantern, and we have some plants.
We do. We
So-
do. But before we talk about Thanksgiving lore, before we get
Yes.
into the history of Thanksgiving, we got to talk about what Thanksgiving is really about.
Carbs.
Lots of them.
Lots and lots of carbs.
I mean, we all know that Thanksgiving is about gorging yourself on a massive spread.
Gluttony.
Gluttony to the extreme.
I'm pretty sure, I don't know where at in the Bible, but somewhere in there I think it says, like, if you're fellowshipping with one another, it's okay to eat all you can.
Really. So in that instance, gluttony isn't counted as
It's
a
not a
seven deadly sins.
It's not a sin. It's called breaking bread with your brothers and sisters.
Fellowship.
Fellowshipping.
Well, I mean, it is a day when you need to wear your stretchy
I
pants.
mean, put your starters on and
Right.
get after it. Your and ones, because everybody's shopping at Walmart,
Right.
and get after it.
I wear my N1s around the house.
There. That's 100% accurate.
Okay, so Thanksgiving feast.
Yes. Feast.
Now we know that not everybody has the same means as others,
Yeah.
but most watching probably plan to pig out on Thanksgiving with your family. So, what are some of your favorite Thanksgiving menu items?
Number one's deviled eggs.
Deviled eggs.
I could eat the whole tray.
I love a deviled egg.
Now, the aftermath is unbelievable. I mean, you better have some Glade plug-ins in the house. That's all I'm going to say. So I like deviled eggs. And then I like all things gravy.
Yeah? You like white gravy or brown gravy?
Giblet gravy.
Giblet gravy.
Giblet gravy.
What? Can you please, what is giblet gravy?
Giblet gravy, I don't even know what a giblet is, if I'm being honest.
Take a guess.
It's an innard.
An innard.
It's a filter. It's probably a filter to filter out things that you don't need. Or
within the turkey.
That the turkey doesn't
And
need.
you're just gonna eat the thing that catches all the junk.
Yes. Because sometimes junk is good.
And make gravy out of it.
And make gravy. And I don't know exactly how it, like a made from scratch giblet gravy is.
Yeah.
But I know that it tastes good on everything that you put it on.
Everything.
Mashed potatoes.
Okay.
But dressing. And I love dressing.
Yeah.
So,
dressing is my favorite Thanksgiving item, but it has to be done right. My family has the ausTILL dressing. We have a way that we do it. Heavy on sage. Mm-hmm. It's spicy. It's got to get a little bit of kick to it.
Oh.
And it's of course dressing. It can't be too wet.
I like the edge piece.
Yeah, edge piece.
I don't care if I've got to the line and they've taken half the pan. I will go to the other end of the pan
and get an edge.
And I will get the corner out.
You like that crusty?
I want the crust.
I love dressing, man.
And sage.
It's a lot of sage.
And onion.
God, you gotta have the onion in it.
And giblet gravy.
I'm ready.
I'm ready to absolutely
violate
it.
Are you a cranberry sauce?
Yes, out of a can.
Out of a can. It's got to have ridges.
Bro, I'm talking about ocean spray. Don't be trying to come up here with some kind of homemade cranberry compote.
No, compote.
I don't want chunks in it. I want it to look like a can. I want it to be gelatinous.
Yes.
I want it to be.
The bottom line is nobody actually likes cranberries.
No.
You know when you drink cranberry juice? When you have a urinary tract infection.
That's all it is.
Can we just take an aside for a moment and chase a rabbit? Have you ever had a bladder infection?
Let me tell you right now. I'm talking about feeling the burn. I'm talking about. So that tells you everything you need to know about Tell me another time you eat anything cranberry.
Listen, when you get a UTI, you're supposed to drink like pure cranberry juice. It's the most disgusting. You'd rather have the bladder infection.
Which means you don't need to drink it all the time.
Which also means that we don't want no cranberry sauce made of real cranberries.
I want it made of like 100% something else.
I want it to look like a Jell-O mold.
Ain't no doubt about it. I mean.
So where are you on turkey? Because here's the thing. There are some menu items that are must-haves. Corn casserole that Michelle makes. Oh.
I love all that stuff.
Sweet potato casserole with a nice like crust on it.
We're going to talk about turkey in a little bit, but where I'm at on turkey is that if it's fried or it's smoked, it is delectable.
Yeah, I'm considering smoking one this year, but in general, turkey is maybe the most overrated part of Thanksgiving.
It is a dry bird, and if it's not done right,
and it
ain't right.
It's hardly ever done right.
I usually fry it, but I am also going to smoke one this year also.
And I'm not dogging people on doing a turkey. You're talking about 20-something pounds. It's hard to do.
If you do a turkey right in the oven, it is an all-day process. And turkey, nobody has time for that.
It doesn't have much flavor anyway. Really. So turkey's definitely overrated.
Overrated.
I'm going to tell you what I hate. Green bean casserole.
The only green bean casserole I like is my wife's. And I'm not just saying that to get brownie points.
Yeah.
Very little green beans. It has a lot of cheese and stuff in it.
Michelle made green bean casserole for me one time, and I said, "Don't ever do that to me."
It's overrated.
I said, "Don't ever do it again."
In general, it is an overrated thing.
Now, give me some green beans that are wrapped in bacon with like some honey drizzle on them.
Yeah.
All day.
I'm gonna tell you another overrated food, and that's cooked carrots.
Right.
That shouldn't even be a food.
Cooked carrots.
I can't stand cooked carrots.
Keep the carrots on the veggie tray with the ranch.
Like my mother-in-law makes a carrot souffle that is great, and you know why it's great? Because you can't taste the carrots.
Right.
has sugar and cinnamon and other spices.
Yes.
It's like almost like a sweet potato casserole, which, by the way, is one of my favorites.
Sweet potato casserole, incredible.
Marshmallows or pecans, either one.
Yes, and I like that. I like that pecan crust on the top. Jeez. What about ham?
I always like to go ham.
Same. Honey baked ham.
Yes.
Any kind of ham, really.
Salty, sweet. A spiral cut honey baked is probably my favorite.
I'd rather have ham than turkey.
Yeah, ain't no doubt about that.
I mean, it's
Give me swine.
It's not even close.
It's unclean food.
It's unclean.
But it's awesome.
But it's good.
It's tasty.
So, wonder what you guys are having. You know,
you guys
as
probably love Thanksgiving just as much as we do.
Yeah,
so.
if you're watching this from a platform where you can comment, feel free to comment below some of your favorite menu items, some things that you deem overrated.
Sister Schubert rolls, dragging it through the giblet gravy.
I'm going to tell you something that I have to have. Pumpkin pie.
There.
Pumpkin pie's gotta happen.
You know, I grew up on sweet potato pie, and I love it.
Yeah.
When I came up here to Tennessee, everybody was doing pumpkin more so. Can I just tell you, I like both of them.
All of them. Pecan pie.
Oh my gosh.
I don't like apple pie. It's trash.
I like all of it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I like all pies.
But I like.
Pie taster would have been a dream job for me.
Well, I like pumpkin pie. But you gotta have Cool Whip.
A lot of it.
A lot of Cool Whip. Mounds of Cool Whip. Okay, so that's the food.
Yeah.
We've talked through probably the most important thing.
Yep.
Brooks has done extensive research on the history of Thanksgiving.
And that is a scary thing when I do extensive research.
The extensive research centers predominantly on Wikipedia, where you find the most accurate information.
History Channel.
Okay, you did get away from Wikipedia a little.
I mean, History Channel had several specials on Thanksgiving, and none of them lined up with each other.
No, they all have different.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna step back for a minute and give the camera to Brooks.
I've got my phone here because my research is on my phone.
And I get ready to have your mind blown with what he has discovered.
I don't have a whiteboard today, but I do have some other items that Jeremy has provided.
Some visuals. So
thankful for that. And we come out of talking about food, and we're going to go right back into food because food is a big part of Thanksgiving. So some fun facts about Thanksgiving. Did you know that the average American consumes over 4,500 calories on Thanksgiving, which is over twice the amount you actually need? And I'm going to tell you something. I don't know who... These polls were probably the same polls that all our news stations were using during the elections.
Right.
Because that's completely inaccurate.
Is that not enough calories?
That's not enough.
Okay.
I started adding up calories that I take in on Thanksgiving, and I when I got up past 10 and 11,000 calories, I just stopped counting. I believe I consume somewhere around 13,000 calories on Thanksgiving Day, which is enough to stop your heart.
You're gonna make you comatose.
There ain't no doubt about it. So that is, 4,500 calories. My son Griffin, who is 3, is going to take in that many calories on Thanksgiving.
Oh my.
Which is incredible. We're going to go right into pumpkin pie. You mentioned that.
Yeah.
It's a dessert staple. Did you know that pumpkin pie is not even made from a traditional pumpkin?
What's it made from?
It's made from a very, very small pumpkin called a sugar something.
Okay.
Sugar pumpkin.
So not a real
something
pumpkin.
like that. And most people don't even use a real pumpkin to make their pumpkin pie. The majority of people use the stuff out of a can.
The fake stuff.
Libby's, to be specific.
And that's kind of gelatinous, right?
It's kind of gelatinous, and they have a recipe on the back of the can.
I don't care.
I don't care either. I love canned food. Give me that. So let's talk turkey for just a second. We talked about that. Turkey is considered probably one of the ugliest birds that there is. It's a trophy bird.
Yeah, I hunt turkeys.
Do you think turkeys are beautiful?
In the general sense, because
in a hunter's eye,
they're beautiful from a hunter's perspective.
Yeah.
They're a really cool animal, but truthfully, they're hideous to look at.
Let me just tell you what a turkey is considered. It's considered the ugliest bird on the planet.
Okay.
Homely, dry, flavorless, unless you pump it full of butter, ugly bird.
Yeah.
Which we pump it full of butter.
Yeah.
But it's big and it can feed a lot of people.
Right.
So, it is the staple on the Thanksgiving table. And so as we get into talking about turkey and how it made its debut, there's a myth out there about turkey that it makes you sleepy.
Okay. That's
Did
not
you-
true?
Have you heard that?
Yeah, I've heard
before?
that. It's got something in it that makes
True
you.
or false? You think it's true or false?
Well, I mean, now it's a loaded question, but I used to think it was true.
It's false.
False. Okay.
Turkey does not make you sleepy.
It's good to know.
You get sleepy. It has a nutrient in it called how do you pronounce that right there? Let me see, Airman. Tryptophan.
Tryptophan, yes. We probably said it wrong.
A turkey has less tryptophan, if that's how you say it, than a chicken.
Really?
Yes.
But they tell you.
You're sleepy because all you're doing is consuming carbs, and you're crashing after you consume all those carbs. So it's not that gives it to you; it's the dressing and the
It's
mashed
not the
potatoes.
turkey.
So that's a myth. So all you people that say I'm gonna eat turkey and I'm gonna get sleepy, and you say that stuff on Facebook, you're actually lying to the world.
Well, inadvertently.
But it don't matter because Thanksgiving is a lie, and we're gonna talk about
Oh.
that right now. The turkey.
Oh.
Did you know that Benjamin Franklin wanted? There's a story out there that says Benjamin Franklin wanted the national bird to be a turkey.
Yeah, I've heard that. Is
That's
that
a
not true?
myth.
It's a myth.
It is an actual myth.
Because I believe that.
He wrote a letter to his daughter, saying that the bald eagle was maybe a poor choice because the bald eagle was a bird of bad moral character.
How is a bird bad moral character?
I
I
have
could
no
see
clue.
that saying it about a vulture.
He said that it's because he doesn't get his doesn't live honest. Says the bald eagle is a lazy bird, won't fish for itself, but the turkey is courageous and goes out and gets everything it needs for itself.
Let me just pause. That's one of the fathers of our nation.
Yeah, well,
roasting on the bald eagle.
roasting on it, and I kind of got twisted up on saying it, but I said it accurately. But here's the deal on it. Benjamin Franklin's a liar. We discussed that in the other episodes of the ausTILL show, the earlier episodes.
Yeah.
This guy said he tied a key to a kite and
He didn't do
discovered
it.
That's a lie. Said he broke his glasses and discovered bifocals. That's another lie. And if you go read the history of Benjamin Franklin, you'll find out that the only person that was bad morally was probably him.
Probably O-Ben.
He needs to quit dogging out these birds. The bald eagle's incredible.
It's majestic.
Can you imagine us having a turkey in front of our American flag?
It's a national. I mean, I love turkey.
I mean, if you see a turkey like full sprawled, it's
Yeah.
pretty impressive.
It's impressive, but it's nothing like a
but
bald
the
eagle.
eagle. The
soaring.
eagle is the eagle.
I mean,
So-
I would pick a gobble of a turkey over the screech of an eagle.
Yeah,
But turkeys, they're ugly.
but he
Their
did-
head changes colors. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, like if
You're blowing my mind. right now.
if a hen is around and he thinks, his head will change colors. He'll be like white, blue, red.
It's still like the bald eagle though, isn't it?
No, it's not the bald eagle.
So that was a myth though. He was just defending the turkey, but he didn't actually want it to be the national bird. So that's a myth. Thanksgiving Day. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you this. The way you learned it in elementary school is a complete lie.
Oh,
So they tell you in elementary school that the Pilgrims came over on the Mayflower, which they did.
Mhm.
That's truth. And that they settled on Plymouth Rock, and because of the harsh winter, like 150 people were on the Mayflower or something like that. 60-something of them died before they got here.
okay.
Because they wanted to have a new world. It sounds a lot like church people leaving their church, don't it? Think it's greener on the other side,
Yep.
but
Shots fired.
half of them end up dying before they get to where they're going.
You preaching now, dog.
But I'm just going to go ahead and go move forward here. So they settled on Plymouth, and this is what they tell you in elementary school, that they were having a hard time adapting to the new world.
Uh-huh.
And so here comes the Indians along,
The natives.
the natives, which we're going to talk about that
Yeah.
in just a second. But the Wampanoag Native Americans,
Say it again.
Wampanoag,
Say it one more time.
Wampanoag.
Nice.
I'm considered Wampus. So here we go. So they were having a hard time getting food and things, and here comes the Wampanoags. They help them garden.
Figure out how to work the land.
And then when they reaped the harvest, they all came together and ate, and they were one big happy family. That's what you learn in elementary school.
But that's probably not the way it went.
No, this ain't the way it went. They were struggling when they got there, bottom line.
Yeah.
We're struggling. And the idea that they didn't know how to plant crops is completely preposterous, because what were they doing over in Europe?
Exactly.
Bottom line is they was all sick. They ate with the Wampanoag several times. The first time wasn't considered a day of thanks. It was, we're trying to get something to eat, and here comes the Wampanoags walking past, and they decided they were going to eat their food while they were there.
Oh.
So it would be the equivalent of you being at home having Thanksgiving lunch or dinner, and some family that you didn't know showing up to your house and saying, "Hey guys, we're coming to eat with you."
Yeah.
That's
awkward.
That's the true story.
Okay.
And the bottom line is the Pilgrims were so weak, they had no way of really defending themselves, so they just let them do whatever they wanted.
Yeah.
Eventually, they did come together and supposedly learn stuff from each other.
Yeah.
And had a couple of meals that were considered meals of thanks. But the actual first Thanksgiving was done probably a century before that, in the 1500s.
Really?
When the Puritans wanted to come together the Day of Thanks. And you know how they celebrated the Day of Thanks? Not by eating, but by fasting.
Really? That's fascinating.
Thanksgiving's a lie.
Thanks.
We're doing the opposite of what the Puritans did. Puritans get a really bad name. They did love the Lord, but they had a wild side to them if you read about them. We're not going to talk about that. They ate and they drank, bottom line.
Lord. But they fasted for Thanksgiving.
But they fasted for the Day of Thanks. So that was the first thing. So that we're already on a big time lie here.
Right.
And so eventually the Pilgrims, they ate together. They didn't eat turkey.
Yeah.
They actually, nobody could get their story right. They said they ate lobster and oysters.
My God.
In one account. They said they ate ham and oysters in another account.
That's
they
a
said
weird
they
combo.
ate fish, and they went out and what I forgot what the term was. They went out and they hunted fowl.
Yes, like ducks, geese, etc.
Goose or geese was possibly on the table.
Yeah.
And partridge.
Partridge.
That's got to be the worst meal ever. They didn't eat carbs. There wasn't a pumpkin around, they said.
Oh my.
This pumpkin, this is a lie. Go ahead and remove that from the table, Cameron. It is a lie. This turkey right here, that's a lie. Thanksgiving is a lie, actually.
So it's a complete fabrication.
It's a complete fabrication. And then they ended up, I can't go into great detail of what happened because it is so graphic.
Yes.
That they even said on the History Channel, and you can go check Smithsonian because I checked there. They said we are going to lie to our kids here in America because we cannot tell the truth of what really happened.
Oh my.
They ate with the Indians and then they slaughtered them. Long story short. Let that sink in. Now
Happy Thanksgiving.
Now the Indians, they wasn't innocent either. They were slaughtering people too.
There's a lot of stuff going on.
Basically, they were terrible. Even though the Indians are the ones that discovered America, that's why they're called the Native Americans.
But that's a whole nother.
Christopher Columbus, he's a liar too. So.
Are we allowed to say that?
Yeah, I am. I said it. But I'm going to tell you who the true hero is for Thanksgiving, and we're going to close this thing out.
Right.
You need to remember the name Josepha.
Josepha?
You like that name?
That sounds like my cousin.
She must be from Mississippi.
Right.
Sarah Josepha Hale. Okay? That's your name, bro. She was an American writer. She's famous for two things. She was the author of a nursery rhyme, Mary Had a Little Lamb.
Oh. And
she is also considered to be the mother of Thanksgiving.
Really?
Because at a time in the 1800s, now we're going from 1620, all the way to 1860 something when Abraham Lincoln's in office.
Yeah.
And we're all the way there, and wars are happening, civil wars and all kinds of things. If that's the correct war, I don't even know. I'm so confused right now. But Josepha, this is what she said. She said, we've got to stop all this mess. We've got to come together. A nation can't survive this way. And God is real.
Yeah.
And because He's real, why don't we just settle our differences, come together around the table, break bread with one another, and give a day of thanks where we focus on God.
So it was similar to Christmas.
So literally, it started out with good intent. It got way off track for a few hundred years.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, kudos to all the women out there, a strong woman of faith brought it back.
Mary had a little lamb.
Mary had a little lamb. Abraham Lincoln declares it a day of thanks and encourages people to practice that day. It wasn't beginning to be in practice until the 1940s. Can you believe that? Thanksgiving,
Wow.
as we know it, is young.
Really?
Yes. 1941, Roosevelt kind of reinstated it, pushed the Thursday back that year because the economy was so bad. He wanted to give people a chance to another week to Christmas shop. So it would boost the economy. And it started up in the Northeast, and it gradually went across the nation, and it is now known as Thanksgiving, where we sit around and eat turkey and watch football.
If they have fabricated that, what else are they?
They're lying about everything.
Whoever they are,
you're lying.
About
but I'm glad that Josepha pulled it around for us.
Yes, I bet Mary Had a Little Lamb was about Jesus.
Yeah,
there ain't no doubt.
That's 100%.
There ain't no doubt. Well, before we end the show, fascinating, mind blown.
A lot more there, but that's the
yes.
Thanksgiving according to Brooks.
Some of the stuff that Brooks shared with me is not safe for public consumption. We didn't want to share it on here because it's
awful.
It's pretty rough. Some of our American history.
Yes.
All that said, the idea that we take a day a year, and really it's been extended into a month of November where we set our thoughts on being grateful, is profoundly important as a nation, and it is a fundamental element in the life of a healthy believer. You know, we're talking Thanksgiving, harvest. You know, when you are made alive in Christ, just get this mental picture with me. When you're made alive in Christ, seed is deposited on the inside of you, in your soul, in your spirit. It's the seed of heaven, the seed of God, the seed of the fruit of the Holy Spirit. So in your life right now is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, and self-control. All that's already in there for every follower of Jesus. Yeah. Now, it's the fruit is being manifest in varying degrees, but love doesn't fall on you. Love is planted in you. You know, peace doesn't cover you. Peace rises up in you. Joy, it doesn't rain on you. Joy bursts forth out of you. And so how do you transition that seed into fruit of the Spirit? How do you transition what's in you, take it from dormant to alive? And in the simplest terms, you take biblical principles, scriptural principles, and you apply them. And you apply them repeatedly, and they become a fertilizer of sorts to the seed of God that's on the inside of you. And you say, why are you talking about this in the context of Thanksgiving? Because gratitude, giving thanks, being grateful is one of the most profound fertilizers available to the believer.
It really is. When
you are a person that consistently gives thanks, when you are postured with a grateful heart, it is nothing but beneficial for your spiritual development, certainly for everybody else, but it causes stuff to come alive on the inside of you that desperately needs to burst forth with abundance. There's a passage that we quote a lot. You know, worry about nothing, pray about everything, tell the Lord what you need, thank Him for what He has done, and His peace will guard your heart. That moment of thanksgiving, we've got to be people of prayer. You know, we've got to not stress and worry, but thanksgiving is a key element. And when you are thankful to the Lord for what He's done, peace comes and establishes a guard over your heart. You don't get peace by trying to have peace. You get peace by being thankful. So when we say thank you to God, we're not just saying two words. There is a lot of subtext. There's stuff under the surface that we're saying, and I'm trying to watch my time to make sure I finish well. When you say thank you to the Lord for whatever it is, there are a few things that you're really saying. Number one, you're acknowledging that God is sovereign and that He has ordered your steps. When you say thank you, you're making the point to say, I didn't have control over all the details of my life. My perspective is limited, but God, you've seen it all. and you have worked all of that out. When you say thank you, then you're choosing to look for God in your circumstances, past and present. When you say thank you, then you are making the choice to see God, the silhouette of God in your personal history. You're acknowledging that I'm not self-made. I have had plenty of help along the way. You're saying that every victory, every win, every success, every positive result, and everything I survived is connected to God in some way, shape, form, or fashion. When you say thank you, you're saying a lot. When you say thank you, you're humbling yourself. You're reminding yourself that the situation may not have been good, but God is good and God has been good to you. When you say thank you, that you're declaring over your life that God has worked everything for the good. You know, sometimes you got to thank Him for what you came through. And when you're doing that, you are highlighting not that it was painful. You're highlighting that God's goodness broke through and was the ultimate takeaway from the experience that you had. When you give thanks, there are a few things that happen. Number one, your affections grow for the Lord. When you start thinking about what He's done for you, your heart enlarges with love for Him. When I'm going to go through my history, thank God for what He's done. Something happens in you. How could you not love Him more? When you give thanks, peace guards your heart. We already referenced that. When you give thanks, trust grows because you're reminding yourself of how good He's been thus far. If He got me to this point, I can trust He's going to get me the rest of the way. When you give thanks, you're humbling yourself. You humble your own heart. James said it this way: God opposes the proud but gives grace to the humble. Humble yourselves. We have to choose to humble ourselves, and one of the best ways to do that is to thank God. We don't just thank God for what He's done. We thank God for every single person that has crossed the timeline of our lives because they were a gift from the Lord. Some of them because they did good things in our lives, some of them because they created issues, but those issues helped get us to where we are. But it humbles your heart because you know, I didn't get here by myself. I can't take all the credit. When you give thanks, faith rises up. Our friend Karen Wheaton sang a song for years, He'll do it again.
Man, that's a good song.
Oh my gosh. I mean, the hair stand up on the back of
my childhood.
And so, when you thank God for what He has done, you are building up your faith to believe that He'll do it again. He got me over that mountain, He'll get me past this one. We slayed that giant, we'll slay the next one. When you give thanks, joy bursts forth. When you give thanks, people become more valuable. Simply put, we've laughed about Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had a good time today. We've talked about food. We've talked about pilgrims and Native Americans. We've talked about slaughter.
And it's still my favorite day.
Hey, after all that you've learned,
especially what you just said.
Yeah.
Giving thanks, Thanksgiving is a huge deal.
Yeah, after all that we learned about the holiday, you can't take away the fact that our nation, you might have a lot of problems with our nation. You might have certain ideas about the way we do things and who we are as a people, and we certainly can make a long list of the things that we don't necessarily get right.
We got it good.
But it's pretty cool that on our calendar, there is a day that is set aside with Thanksgiving as the primary premise. Certainly we get distracted by the food. We're excited about Black Friday the next day.
Everybody in the nation stops.
And Thanksgiving is at the epicenter of our collective thought. And you know what? I think that's healthy and healing for our country. And I know for a fact, for every believer watching, Thanksgiving is one of the greatest tools you've been given. There is nothing like a grateful heart. Gratitude will open doors that talent can't open for you. Gratitude will present you with opportunities that brilliance can't.
Man.
And even more than that, gratitude will keep you in the spots that your talent and your brilliance and your connections got you in. So we love you today. You can watch the show on YouTube. You can listen to it on our podcast. And be sure to follow Brooks and I. You can catch us on Instagram at ausTILL, at Jeremy ausTILL. You can catch us on Twitter at Jeremy ausTILL, at BrooksTill. Find us on Facebook. Be sure to share the show.
Absolutely. Share.
And happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Go eat.
Have a great Well,
Be thankful.
Turkey Day, but not really. We'll see you soon.